Hello, my love, my divine feminine. Tonight I send thoughts out into the universe of you. Sometimes I can't tell whether I'm physically traveling or just traveling in my mind. So no matter where I find myself or where I look up and see the moon or the sunrise or the sunset, it feels like the biggest part of me is always traveling to you. You're always a part of my first thoughts of the day and my last thoughts of the night. And I find in the extra distance that my arrogance has created that I think of you even more. And there's a part of me that laughs at myself because there have been so many times that I expected these moments to come, that I expected to mess up bad enough with you that you would actually look away, walk forward, not wait for me. Though I expected it so much sooner. I expected it so many times before. I feel like somehow you saved it until I least expected it, until I had become comfortable. Although, I can see, I know that really it should have been expected because I did get comfortable. I got comfortable juggling you and Carmix, and I got comfortable in what I can tell is where I came from, repeating my father's mistakes, repeating my mother's mistakes, my brothers, my sisters, my friends. And the stupidest part is that, somebody, so many somebodies, gave me all their bits of advice. And then I feel like all of it was about focus on your paper, focus on this, or this will be easier, or stay in it. You made commitments to it. You don't want another failed situation. You don't want another broken contract. And others, they they range from telling me that you were far too good for me to that I was too good for you. And you know what I feel stupid about is that I listened to all of them and I did not listen to my heart, which means I most definitely did not listen to you because you are my heart. And I feel like in the days since the silence has grown between us that I feel like when I think about you being so hurt again by me, it doesn't even matter big thing or little thing, just hurt again. I feel like I ran because I didn't want to hurt you anymore, and I thought maybe over time, I was so convinced, feminine, that over time, either you'd find somebody 10 times better than me on purpose just to prove your point to me, or that somebody else would come and sweep you off your feet. Though I realize now, as the silence grows, that my heart has always known your heart and that you couldn't go. I just didn't want to believe it. I've been hurt so many times by those who said that they loved me, who said that they were doing things that were best for all of us, who told me to do things that they said were best for everyone. I feel like it was easier to be around those that I knew were lying to me, that I knew only wanted my money, what status I may have had. I feel like feminine, since we parted ways so long ago, I lost all of the Midas touch that I had, except now, I feel like I set out to prove to myself that I could make the amounts that we needed to support us, that I could stand on my own, that I could do it my way, that I could prove everybody wrong. And I feel like every day I just prove everybody right. And now I have this strange Midas touch to where it's not that everything turns to gold, but everything turns to money. There isn't anybody around me that I can talk to that they don't make it all about money. Nobody wants to just connect. Nobody reaches out unless they need something. Nobody wants to ask me how I am, and I know you stopped asking a long time ago because I made the choice to stop reaching back because I felt challenged to put both my feet into something, and I feel like I didn't even do that. But I feel like I put my best effort into putting my full feet into something only to find the bottom of the bottle is always dry. I feel like even now, if I pick up a beer or anything, it turns into coins on the inside. Coins I can't spend. I feel like I spent so much time focusing on work and money to try not to deal with any of the emotions around me, and now everything just turns into money. And it's never enough. It's never enough. The people around me, the people that I chose, they just want more and more, and every time I try to get free, they don't want to let me go. There's some sort of way that they pull me in. All of this feels like my worst fears, Divine Feminine. And I know what you'd say, because you've always, I don't know how you do it, Feminine. You've always made me feel like you hold me with such sweet love as if I'm a child. And yet at the same time, you hold me in the highest esteem as if I'm some sort of high caliber masculine equal to you. And you'd look at me and you would grin and you would say, well, dear masculine, if it makes you so unhappy, why do you keep manifesting it? And I know me. I'd either just look at my shoes and say I don't know, or I'd get mad for no reason and storm off and be mad because the truth is I'm ashamed that I don't know. I don't know why I'm manifesting this situation. I don't know why I keep hurting people. I don't know how I keep breaking my own heart. But I feel like I should. You, you've told me, others have told me, the the trail of tears is clearly laid out behind me, and also in the tracks under my eyes. I look around, Feminine, and I see that even in my misery, I have achieved more than I ever have before in terms of status symbols. I've been spending time learning about them. I spend a lot of time trying to learn about things that you used to talk about that I take for granted. Politics and spirituality and astrology and just useless facts. But feminine, none of it none of it feels fulfilling on its own because not a damn person around me has any interest in anything beyond what they can buy, who they can manipulate and maneuver, who can be the next step up, or who else can we bring into this fold that I can pay for. I feel like I dove into this with savior syndrome and now I'm everybody's hero except for the hero just pays for everything. just cleans everything, just has to prod everybody to do just the stupidest little things that even would you think it'd even be for their own self care. I hate it, and yet I go back to it every day. And when they use their threats and emotional terrorism, I give in. The more I think about it, when I think about you asking me why do I keep manifesting it, the only thing I can think of is because I feel like it's what I deserve. I feel like it's what I deserve because especially seeing your face, seeing you drop, feeling your energy drop, I feel like the whole world changed. And I only told you a couple of my secrets. You don't even know the whole entanglement and mess that I'm in. And I feel like it's one of those that I feel like I could come to you and I could tell you every bit of it. And you probably would be much more, I don't know much. I feel like you'd be heartbroken anyways, feminine. That's the thing that scares me, you know? I feel like anymore it's not that I'd lose your love. I feel like I would disappoint you. And I've always hated disappointing you because I know I could do better too. And the fact that I haven't been, the fact that I'm in all the mess that I'm in, placating and being a player still, I swore to myself I wouldn't go back to any of that. I swore to myself that I wouldn't ever be in this situation again, estranged from my family and my friends and from my heart. And yet here I am. I'm trying to figure out how to work my way back to you, but I can't even. It's like trying to get knots out of yarn. I've watched you do it 100 times, and I feel like I feel like you sit there and have the patience, and if the knot's too stuck, you clip it. And yet I feel like I'm sitting here, and every inch of it's got knots in it, and I don't have the patience to do it, and I don't have the right scissors to cut it. I'm just, it's like sitting with a big old net with knots in it. And I don't even know where to begin on the right words to say. I feel like I spent so much of our time together in the past worrying about what the right words were to say. And now I feel like time has run its course, and of course, you prove to be who you've always been, the best, the feminine who loves me. And I've just disappointed you more. And now I feel like feminine. I feel like I have this energy all around inside me and I want to break free, though it won't be free. It won't be free if I release myself from all of this. I've gotten so entangled in every way, financially, socially, all of it, that to let it go would cost me a great deal in financially and in reputation and in so many ways. In time to heal from all of it, in time to deal with all the drama because feminine most are not like you and certainly not the people that I have wrapped myself up with. They would not go quietly into the night. If they would have, I would not have been gone so long. And they have wrapped me up with plenty of innocents whose lives will be affected no matter what choice I make. And you know, the sad thing is, I feel like this is part of my karmic lesson because I can tell that even of the innocents, none of them find any joy in me in their life. Like, we don't share hardly anything in common. And because things are so chaotic everywhere, and I mean, I'm the most adult among all the people that I know, and you know how immature I am. So, me leading this ship is not going anywhere good. And, I just, it feels like the alarm bells are going off and all the sirens are going off and saying, get out of here. And I want to. Though, I don't know, I feel like I'm stuck in my past where it was always a guilt trip. It was always life or death. It was always survival. It was always, if you stand up for yourself, you're somehow hurting somebody else. And I know I'm in a position where I'm definitely going to have to hurt somebody, and I'm tired of hurting you. Hurting you hurts me so much. I wish I could explain it, but Spirit has been telling me to walk in silence for now. I don't know exactly what it means or why. I have some ideas, but I'm just trying to do my best to listen, to have faith, to think about all the things that you've told me along the way, to think good things about myself and about you, to remember that what I believe is true, to hmm, to listen to my intuition even when the rest of the world is telling me to do the opposite. It's funny, feminine, because I feel like I came into this and I thought it was going to be big battles with you, big battles with others, big battles. And it's not so much been in the big battles. The big battles don't seem to ever equate to anything. It seems like it's all the little battles. And that seems like what you saw all along. Like you saw that it wasn't the big battles that mattered that much, it was all the little ones. The battles won in the heart. And you stayed by my side for so long, did everything you could. I know there were even times you tried to make me mad just to get a fire under my belly so that I would stand up for myself. And one of these days, I'll figure out how to tell you just how much I appreciate it. That right now, feminine, I'm staring up in a partly cloudy, partly star-covered sky. And I'm thinking about these status symbols because, you know, I've never felt this way before in my life. I feel like in the past, if I knew somebody would accept me without all the status symbols, I would just drop it all in a heartbeat and come running to them. That feels like the fantasy version of what Hollywood and everyone says love should be, somebody who will accept you for richer and poorer, for better and worse. But feminine, I disappointed you so much. I've disappointed myself so much. And I'm looking around and I feel like it's not so much a question of, well, let me rephrase it. I've been thinking about the question, you know, who would still want me without these status symbols? I know you act a lot like you act, well, you say that you you say that you, oh, feminine, sometimes the thoughts of you can come and go, and other times they flow in so nicely. Either way, I know that you don't hold such toe to status symbols as anyone else, and I know you would accept me without any of them, but I don't know that I could accept myself without being able to at least bring you more than just the shattered pieces of another mess that I made. You've already been the one who's been there for me through all of the times that I wouldn't have thought anybody would have been there for me, that anybody would have been there for anybody. And, you know, I sit here asking myself who all in my life would be gone if I didn't have the money, if I didn't have any statuses. For that matter, like what if I got off social media and didn't have a phone? Who would still care to reach out? Who would care if I reached out? Who would still be my friend if I didn't offer to do all the work on their cars and their home repairs and going to run their errands? I look around me and I don't see almost anybody that I believe that would stay if I said, you know what, I need a fucking break. If I stopped placating, if I stopped saying yes to everything, if I spoke my truth, it feels like nearly everybody would vamoose, you know? And a part of me feels really good about that idea, but the other part of me feels like I've done messed up and disappointed you so much that even if I did drop it all to come to you, that I don't know, feminine, maybe I deserve that. Maybe I deserve to be alone. That was what you told me to go out and do, to find myself, to be by myself. It was the one thing I could not make myself do. I feel like I've achieved almost everything else that you wanted of me except that and the maturity, because I surrounded myself with people I thought that were my allies. And it turned out to only be frenemies, people that want to take from the well of Midas, for lack of a better way to put it. I don't know, feminine. I know that you spend so much time working on you and your emotional security and vibing up and stuff. I wish I was there, that I had that ability to just not feel crushed by all of it, to not look at all the lives that I've affected, to not see myself as a victim, to not be in this weird energy where I feel like there's so much to do, and acting on any of it feels almost impossible. Like suddenly the planet has 10 times more gravity. I don't know, feminine, and I send these thoughts out into the universe, and part of me hopes that you'll hear them and you'll hear within them all the things that I struggle to say. And the other part of me kind of hopes that you won't, because I know that in my honesty about how I feel, you might not be hearing what you want to hear. You're not hearing the I'm coming home. You're not hearing the I've got my freedom. You're not hearing the me putting you first and all that. But I don't know. I know you're out there somewhere, and I know you're the only person who really has understood me, and usually even more in the moments when I least understand myself. So I hope that if you receive these thoughts, you always find it within you somewhere to think good thoughts about me, even when you can't stand to look at me.